it do, KTTV? This is KT, and I'm coming at you live with another episode of the Daily K podcast. And on today's episode, I have a throwback guest. Can I use throwback? Is that the right word?
Yeah, that's great.
One half of the Healthy Teacher team, Miss Lauren Ross. How you doing today, Miss Ross?
I am good. How are you?
Look, I won't complain. I am glad that we had a chance to connect one more time for the season finale. It's been a while. You've been flourishing, and I got to get caught up on what's happening here.
Yeah.
So before we jump into anything, it's been crazy out here. We thought it was slowing down, but it came back. So how have you all been doing during this pandemic?
Yeah. I feel very blessed that have not been affected by COVID at all. Granted, we do, my business partner and I, because the majority of what we do is online, we don't have to be out and about with a ton of people, which I think is beneficial, especially in this like Delta variant aspect of it. And, you know, we do our best to stay safe when we're out, like just making wise decisions when we're out. And it has benefited us thus far.
Man, and it's all about, like you say, making those decisions to really be safe. You know, I got a few things going on this evening, and I really had to kind of like do a gut check and say, like, is this what you want to do? How are you going to do it safely? You know, so, but I'm with you. It has been crazy out here.
Yes.
But besides that, though, you're saying a lot of it is online, but you all have been flourishing. So for the people that missed it, can you give us a little background on the business and get us caught up?
Absolutely. Yeah, I would love to. We planted the idea of this program in 2018. It was really just an idea, kind of talking back and forth with my business partner. And then in 2019, we put some stuff together, and we decided, you know, something needed to be done. I had been a personal trainer for years up until that point, and my business partner had been a personal trainer for a while as well. And I had also been an educator for 2 years, and really saw how unhealthy the majority of educators' lives were. And it was just something that they didn't even realize was unhealthy. It's just what they had known to do for their whole lives. And so seeing that, and also having tons of clients, like one-on-one clients that were educators, and seeing them either lower their dosages of anxiety medication or come completely off of their medication after, you know, a few months of diet, exercise, and then some mental health aspects as well. Seeing all of that, we kind of got together and we were like, you know, we have to create something. There's nothing like what we want to create. And so it went from 2018 just being an idea, 2019 putting it on paper and creating a base program, and then taking a pilot group through. And so after the pilot group, we literally revamped the entire program, like tore it down and basically built it back up. And then in 2020, in September of 2020, we added our first school system out of Texas. And it was really cool. It was a massive learning experience for us. And since then, we have added, up until this point right now, we are in 9 different states, and have somewhere around like 1,300 educators in the program. And so it's just a really, really, it's super humbling, but it's also really exciting to know that you've built something that people have a benefit from, and they enjoy it. And it's just cool to see how much we've learned in the process as well. There have been tons of things that we've messed up on. And luckily we have had just really great educators and great administrators who, you know, have shown us grace and have kind of helped even give us more ideas that would benefit them more. Because at the end of the day, I have been in a classroom, but I'm not in a classroom now.
Yeah.
and it's very different. And so being able to kind of hear from educators and kind of revamp certain things and certain aspects, the things that we can, has been really beneficial for just our overall healthy teacher family. So
I bet. Wow, like you say, learning in business. That is the first part. I'm gonna bump my head. But if people are there to give you that grace as you learn and you grow, man, that makes it so much better, right?
so much better. Yes.
Man, so last time we talked, I want to say you had just moved.
Yes.
Yeah, so how has it been? And was it to North Carolina?
It was to North Carolina. Yeah.
Yeah, so how has it been since the move? What's been going on? And how are you loving the new place? I know you want to be closer to the parents, right?
Yes, that's
See,
right. Yeah.
I'm
That's
telling you.
a great memory. Goodness gracious. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Um,
so
yeah, we moved Carolinas, so we went from South Carolina to North Carolina, and it has definitely been a different environment, and new challenges that different places give you different challenges, and we were just stepping into a completely different, uh, I guess, season of life, if you will, with the program, and really like having to grind, grind pretty hard to get the program where it is now. And so, kind of all of that being said, it's been good. It's been beneficial. Like you mentioned at the very beginning, there's been a lot of growth, like in us, not just in the building, not just in the program. Excuse me, which has been it's been great. It's been cool.
I remember when I moved to Texas. Man, my mom said, "Okay, are you sure you want to move before you go to school?" And so I was like, "Yeah, I'll finish school down there." Look, I so wish I would have listened to her and kind of kept it home until everything kind of got to where it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
So awesome for being able to come back, just get grounded close to the parental units, but
Yeah.
also grow and find yourself within that time, right? And
Oh,
just develop more. So I know you talked about the services. So talk to me about what you had at the beginning, and then how has the administrators, the teachers, the learning grew, and are you offering any new products because of that?
yeah. So the base of what we offer is a all encompassing health and wellness program where we take districts or schools and we split them up into teams and have them compete against each other for incentives. It can be small incentives that are things like a free gene day, because teachers absolutely lose their minds over a free gene day,
You're right.
or things like having somebody else cover your bus duty or morning duty or something along those lines, and then all the way up to gift certificates or gift cards, or things like that, depending on what each district or school can offer. Um, the program encompasses mental health, nutrition, and fitness. We wanted to cover all three aspects because you can't just focus on one. It has to be a holistic. You have to be wholly
Yeah,
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 wholly healthy.
yeah.
Because if you're not, every area is going to suffer.
Mhm.
And so being able to take steps in every single one of those areas is extremely beneficial for educators. The mental health aspect is massive right now. That's been the one thing that I think a lot of people are pushing and saying, like self care, but there's not a lot of practicalities given as to, how do we do that? And so that's really what we want to give and what we want to offer teachers. Like, here's a easy, simple, practical way to incorporate mental health right now, like within the next 2 minutes of your life. And so those are really big aspects of the program. When it comes to like new things, we don't necessarily have anything new that we're offering, but I do believe that the things that we are offering now are better because we've been able to learn, because we've been able to listen, and because we've been able to grow, which that's really what we want right now. We want to give the teachers who are in the healthy teacher right now the best that we have,
Yeah.
and we want them to get the most out of the program that they can get.
Mm. And as you think about that, first off, I want to say that jeans pass, come here. Look, I did a what you call that? A bingo over the summer for the teachers, right? And so selfie bingo, just take pictures. Let's get all in. I said for the teachers who participated, you'll get your jeans passes. Beginning of the year came in, COVID came. When I tell you every day, teachers was just walking by my office like, "What happened to them jean passes?" Well, the jean look, I had to give them up. So true. So anything you do for those gene passes, so great motivators.
Yeah.
But thinking about what you said about the self care and the teachers, man, I will say for myself, it's been crazy. We've come back, and cases are up, right? Coming from the community inside of the school. And so, as you think about that and you work with these educators, what are some of the stresses that you've been seeing with educators, and how, like, with those practical tips, maybe like two or three of them, what do you tell them?
Yeah. You know, COVID, that's a massive stressor. Like there's no way around that. I know that it's, been a stressor since, February or March of 2020, but it's still a stressor. It has wreaked havoc on a lot of people's lives and, in every aspect. And so I think the weight of how long it's been, and how long this has gone on, I think that in and of itself, just the length of time has been very weighty on people in general. But then you add in having teachers in a classroom having to supervise and take care of 20 24 kids, and then also make sure that they're following whatever protocols the school or the district gives, while keeping themselves safe, and then things. I think a lot of people don't realize that educators are, especially within this time, have really quickly had to flip flop a lot of the ways that they're teaching. And when you go from, okay, I have this in my mind, of what needs to be done, and then overnight somebody says, oh, actually, this is what we're going to do instead. That is a huge stressor. And so it's a lot of what we're wanting to do now from a mental health standpoint is to kind of talk to teachers and say, okay, one of the big things is write down, where is it beneficial for me to put my energy?
Mm.
Where are the major things, or the major areas where my energy is needed? And then where are the areas where I am giving energy that it's not necessarily needed?
Yeah.
And being able to differentiate between those two, I think, is really big for a lot of people, but especially teachers, and especially in this time. And then, another thing, a ton of teachers are type A. I am very type A myself, which means we can be a little bit controlling and want to have things like boom, 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 boom in line. Yeah. And so to realize that, it's okay if things don't go the way that you plan them out, or the way that you in your mind envision them going. And I guess for type B people, it's not that big of a deal. My business partner Reagan is super type B, so it's very interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
But I have noticed, just like for myself and for a lot of our teachers, they tend to get very flustered, like when things don't go the way that they planned. And so being able to take a step back out of your emotions and say, okay, it's okay. Take a deep breath. Yeah. We know how to pivot. That's been what we've been doing for the whole time. And so being able to get teachers to show themselves grace, yeah, and know that, it's okay if things don't go how you wanted them to.
Man, we do a what you call it, personality test. And it's yeah. And so with that, inside of it, we have colors, blue, which is you think with your emotions, gold, which is your A type, like organized, structured, your green, which is people who got to see the big picture and ask why. But then lastly, your orange, which is your, like, almost your goofy people, or something like that, of sense, who like to just have fun, right?
Yeah.
Sounds like you're pretty gold, man. I would
Yes,
just
I would be, yes, yes, that would be a great category to put me in.
man, that is awesome. And picking up on another thing you said was about the administrators, right? And so today I talked to my librarian and she was like, okay, well, Scholastic wants to do the book fair, but they need to know right now.
Yeah,
But it's like, okay, well, the district says we got to wait till September before we look at big events. So have you had any of the dealings like that and say, well, administrators, oh, well, we want to do such and such, but we can't get everybody together, or just hold off and wait? And if so, how does your company kind of combat that?
yeah. Which let me start off by saying I really think that being a school administrator is probably the most difficult job in the education field.
Man.
I was literally talking with someone about this earlier because you have from, your staff, you're taking on, their problems and their issues.
Mhm.
And trying to accommodate for them, but then you also have from a district level people coming to you, but then you have outside people who are like, hey, let's also try these things and these things. And so I commend you for being
Thank
in
you.
the position that you're in, and handling that well. But we have had a few instances where we have had just individual schools out of a school system
Mhm.
want to join the program, and
Mm.
due to their districts saying like, we want to wait until this time or this time.
Mhm.
That's just how it is. Like
Yeah.
most of the time a school can't say, well, we want to do this now, so we're going to do this now.
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
Yeah.
And so we we've kept in touch. We've learned as much as we can about the school in the time period that we have to learn.
Mhm.
That way, when we do get the opportunity to meet with them and talk with them, we can serve them really, really well. And so, just using that time, that meantime, to the best of our ability.
Yeah, and what a great way, like what a great tidbit. You think about those companies that's waiting. So then how do you really man, enhance your chances like once you get in that door? And it's by creating that initial contact, saying, okay, well, I'll wait, then being able to come in and talk about the population, about the school, and then
Yeah.
take advantage of it, get in. Oh, come on, Lord.
Yes.
Look, and also big shouts out to you for recognizing about the administrative job. Like I had hair when I first started, but so I don't know. Ever since then, it's been real.
Yeah.
Now, one big thing from the pandemic, as we're looking at budgets for schools, is the ESSER fund that are coming up this year. And so, from the website, you guys are ESSER approved.
We
And
are.
so, for the people that don't know about that, then talk to us about what did that mean for the company, and how does that enable you to interact with schools you probably wouldn't.
Man, it was huge
Mhm.
for us. I think um, COVID actually COVID aspects of COVID, they were actually a benefit to our program because people started to see the need for educator health.
Yeah.
It couldn't really get brushed under the rug anymore. It was like, no, like this is a problem and there has to be a solution. And so the ESSER 3 grant, which was a grant given, I think I'm pretty sure different states were allotted different amounts of money
Mhm.
to be used for different criteria.
Mhm.
And there was an ESSER 1, ESSER 2, and ESSER 3. And we fall under 4 or 5 of the points in the ESSER 3 grant.
Mhm.
And that has been what a decent amount of our newer districts have used in order to pay for the program for their
Yes.
staff. There are a few of them. So I actually think we fit under numbers 4, 9. This is off the top of my head. So 4, 9, 14, and 15, I believe.
Mhm.
And there may be one more in there. But the majority of those things are talking about like implementing strategies for health within a school system. And, because teachers are within a school system. And if you have healthy teachers, you're going to have healthier students.
Yeah.
So those kinds of things, some schools and districts have been able to play with that and utilize that ESSER 3 for this opportunity.
Yeah. And so then once I call you, and
Mhm.
I, like for instance, I've seen this podcast, and I'll say, okay, healthy teacher, what can you do for me? What does that initial conversation look like, and bringing them into the family?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I would say, hey, first of all, thank you.
Hey.
It is, it, I hope, and I don't think it's ever going to get old for someone to say, I want to trust you with the health of my staff. Like that's such a big deal to me, and I can speak for my co-owner as well. It's such a big deal to us because it means a lot. It does. And so just thank you, first of all. And then second, we would set up probably a Zoom call or a Zoom meeting so that we could take you through the program and show you everything that it entails. That way, if you have questions about anything, we could answer them on spot. And then, we would answer any other questions that you have. We would give you, a little bit of background about, why we created it, how it came about, and then also learn what are you wanting to give your teachers? Like, what's your focus? How many teachers do you have? Are you just wanting to put your teachers in, or are you wanting to put your whole staff in general? Because I'm pretty sure every single district that we have has opened it up to their entire staff, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
Because if you're in a school building, you are an educator.
Yeah.
You impact the life of a kid. And so that's been really cool. But that's really kind of, the base. And then we figure out, how many staff you have in, then contracts and invoices and all that jazz go back and forth. And then once like a school system gets started, we have this really cool kickoff meeting where it's through Zoom, but we have all of them in there. And then we show the entire staff the program and help them get signed up so that it's as easy as possible for teachers. What we don't want is for educators to get this opportunity and think, man, this is just another thing added to my plate. We don't want it to be another thing added to your plate. We want it to be a lens so that you can view what is actually beneficial on your plate, so that you can wipe things off that aren't and keep the things on that are. And so we make that as easy as possible, have the kickoff meeting, and then we start the first game. Yeah. So that's basically that.
And like you say, that lens is so important because right now, everything seems as if it's a priority, right?
Yes.
And so, man, being able to have someone or something to help you say, okay, this is where you can focus your energy and be more productive. And just being that extra voice is so powerful, man. So big shouts out to you and Reagan for the grind, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. So then now with the Zoom meetings, are you all going in person? How would I see you if I need you all to come in or something?
So we have not been in person yet. That is the ultimate goal, to be able to, fly out to where we need to fly out and meet teachers, one-on-one if we can, or have like meetups or gather ups or something along those lines. Reagan and I both really thrive on relationships and being able to, interact with people and meet people. And so, for that reason, man, COVID has been awful. I feel like I haven't been able to, really build any new relationships in the last year. Yeah. And so, Zoom is great, and it fits the purpose that we need it to right now. But the ultimate goal is to be able to, fly out a few times a year and meet with certain schools, meet with winning teams, surprise schools with just something really crazy, some cool incentive, just things where we can celebrate teachers more. That's the ultimate goal.
Man, now look, during the Zoom presentation, do you show some of the competition pictures and stuff like that? Do you flex on them a little bit?
No.
Don't push it. Okay. It's like, if you keep going, you could be like this. No, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no.
So now, for I know we talked about full school districts, but what about if I am a individual teacher? Can I be a part of this, or is it only through my district contract?
You can definitely be a part of it as an individual teacher. It works a little bit different. So you would still get access to everything. So everything that we have, you would still get individualized nutrition. You would get access to the workouts that are based on the type of equipment that you have. So even if you're just body weight, we have a pathway, workout pathway for that. Um, if you have like a suspension trainer, we have a pathway for that. Just dumbbells, we have a pathway for that. And then a full gym, we have a pathway for that. So you have access to all those things. We also have a learn page that breaks down fitness, nutrition, and mental health information that you have access to. We have recipes, videos kind of on how to use like a food scale and things like that that can be very confusing if you've never done them before. Yeah. And then you still are able to kind of get points, but the only thing that is lacking from an individual entering is that you don't have that competition aspect. So if you're someone who really, really needs that sort of aspect, get a group of your friends together and join. But if you're someone who's pretty self-sufficient and you're like, hey, I just would rather not think about nutrition and not think about putting workouts together, finding them, then I think that's a perfect place for you.
Wow. And the thing is, man, but this is all like you all. So is Reagan fitness background as well?
So Reagan actually started off in college as a nutrition major.
Wow.
And then somehow ended up in communications. But yeah, she actually competed in pageantry, and so learned about the fitness life through that, because you have to have a specific body type for that. And so did that for a few years, like as an adult. And then during that time, I actually trained her for her state pageants, and then saw that she just really picked up on things really quickly. She is super athletic and listens well, can pick up on things very quickly, but also has such a deep love and a genuine heart for people, to just want to care for them well. And that's something you can't teach.
Yeah.
You can teach somebody how to lift. You can teach somebody how to figure out nutrition, but just being able to care about people is something that you can't teach. And so with all of those combined, it would have been pretty moronic for me not to be like, hey, do you want to go in business with me?
Yeah.
So that's kind of her background, not necessarily like hyper fitness, if you will. I mean, she was an athlete and grew up playing sports, but she didn't necessarily like bodybuild compete, but has definitely been in the fitness world for a long time.
Yeah, that's cool. So, I mean, like I say, I was talking to Nicholas Barely, and he was talking about just thinking about the responsibilities and then your passions. And so then when they meet, that's when you find your purpose.
Oh, that's good.
So, yeah, that's that boy. And so just thinking about that, man, both of you all, it's almost like destiny, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it really does. It really does seem like it. I feel very like, throw whatever term out you want to, lucky, blessed, thankful, all of the above, to be able to work with someone who really does have a passion for people, and then a deep passion for educators. She has a background where the majority of her family are educators. I think she's the only female out of like 19 that's not in a school building right now.
Wow.
And so she's gotten to see aspects of it. And she has a pretty cool story that if you ever need another guest, she would be awesome. She could talk your ear off. But she just has a passion for educators. And yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. So now, I can't let you get out of here without giving us something to keep teachers going. So what do you tell the teachers? We getting ready to log out of my session. it wasn't the best today. How do you get me coming back tomorrow?
Yeah, a few things. One, something is always better than nothing.
Mm,
You know, you're not always going to have great days. You don't have great days just in life in general. Not every day is going to be great. And it's not, it's the fact that you just don't quit. You know, it's saying, okay, I didn't do my best here. Why did I not do my best here? And using those places to learn. So like there is no such thing as failure. It's just learning from whatever place you're at. And it's, I think the majority of the time when people get upset about workouts or anything like that, um, it tends to be because they're comparing themselves to some idea that they have about where they should be or where another person is. And that just messes you up,
yeah.
just in general. It's comparison. Nothing good comes from comparison. And so, um, really just getting people out of their own heads and realizing that you stepped into the gym or session or wherever it was, and the fact that you just walked in is a win. You know, the fact that you're still going, you're still moving, like that's a huge, huge win. And so celebrate that, commend yourself for that, rest when you need to,
Facts.
but know, like, you know, if I if I decided that, you know, let's say this morning I woke up and I was like, oh, I forgot to brush my hair. I don't feel like brushing my hair. I wouldn't just quit.
Mhm.
It'd be a hot mess. And so, just being able to like have teachers build those habits and get those habits into them from a place of understanding that they're worthy
Yeah,
to live healthy
man,
is what we want to push.
that's it. Take care of yourself, because I'm telling you, I think about me. Look, I just changed my life just yesterday. Because
Just
before that, look, just yesterday.
yesterday. All right.
Because before that, it was I have one teacher in the building, and I know she goes to get lunch. And so then I dart to her room, like right before I know she going on lunch. Where you going? Can you pick me up something? And
Yeah.
so yesterday I put my foot down. I went to HEB and I bought dinner, and I
Let's go.
also bought salads to say, let
Oh,
me get in here and try to do something with my life.
I see you. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Very
Look,
cool.
you gotta start somewhere.
That's right. That's right.
Man, so what's next for the company? What's next for you?
Whew. Um, Goodness. I feel like they're basically intertwined right now, the company and me. We just want to be excellent at what we do at the end of the day. I feel like I've mentioned that in other ways throughout this podcast, but we really just want to be excellent and give teachers, you know, the best that we have. And then, you know, obviously we want to grow and we want to be able to grow well. Let me also say that we want to be able to grow well. I think if the mindset is just like grow, 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 you can grow past what you're capable of handling. And so we do not want to do that. That's not what we want to do. We want to grow well. We want to keep learning. We have a few updates that are coming to the program, which it's going to make things a little more user accessible. It's just going to make things easier for a lot of people to use. It's going to add some fun things. And so it's just the little things that we're really excited about
Yeah,
right now, because you know a lot of little things equals a really big thing. So
that's it. That's
that's kind
it. Small wins to get to the big victory,
of exactly.
but you got to celebrate them all.
That's right. Nailed it.
Man, awesome work. Awesome work today. I appreciate you just getting back locked in. Man, I could tell the difference between the first and the second podcast and just the experiences that you've had within the business, the things that you're able to recollect. So that just tells me you're growing. And
Thank
like you say, you can focus on just growing, 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 but then you may go past your mark,
you.
right?
Right.
I've seen a lady who made $1 million, and I want to say she had maybe 2 to 3,000 people, right? Versus somebody with 15,000, 20,000, but they were all engaged, right? So she didn't focus on the growth. She focused on getting the people who are down with me to the right place.
That's right.
Man, that's it. That's it. So now, how do I contact you? How do I find you? Where can I find the company? All that.
Yeah, so you did an awesome job of scrolling the Healthy Teachers website down there.
Yeah,
You can go to the website, thehealthyteacher.com, and you can schedule if you are in an administrative position, whether that's school or district, you can schedule a Zoom to view the program if you're interested for it for your school, or you can email or contact the Healthy Teacher at thehealthyteacher2018@gmail.com.
Man, the year that started it all.
That's right.
Hey, well, look, I sure appreciate you taking some time out today, man, to just talk about the business, get us caught up on what's going on, and also drop those tidbits like you do every time. I appreciate that.
And thank you so much for having me on. It's always a pleasure. Love what you do, and I just love that you asked. So thank you.
Hey, man, we out here. All right, y'all. Look, season 6 is in the books. I had I'm going to use this most awesomest guest that I could to close out the season. We'll be back in a few weeks with more great interviews, more great giveaways. So thank you all for tuning in for The Healthy Teacher and for KTTV. This is KT signing out. 100.
This is Darnell with Broadcast Houston.
This is Dr. Tamara Beckford.
Hey, this is Candace.
This is London Underwood.
This is Kirsten Bass with Inner City Greens, and you're watching.
Y'all are now tuned in to
KTTV.
KTTV.
KTTV.